this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about contentment, I'm also talking about a certain level of emotional maturity
Mm-hmm.
and a means by which you can articulate yourself to somebody on emotional terms in ways that often women aren't expecting. Check it out.
A pretty emotionally intelligent dude. I've noticed that there's only room for my emotions when they're convenient for the woman that's asking me to be emotionally intelligent. That any emotional labor I do that's not for her convenience or not that something she specifically asked for, that either goes unnoticed or when I'm saying something that's not favorable, the shit gets used against me and it becomes about how she feels about what I said and not about the shit that I said.
Ladies, he making some too much sense. Somebody cry. Somebody cry. Somebody cry.
So what? All I'm saying, because saying that, all right, now we got our own money, we want y'all to be emotionally intelligent. That's a great fucking argument until it becomes a real life situation and you start to deal with an emotionally intelligent nigga and you realize it ain't been enough of them in your life and you don't know what to do with that type of man.
You're not lying. You're not lying. This is fact.
Sweetheart,
This is fact.
my baby, if all you done had is dudes that don't know how to express themselves, don't come sitting in front of me, a nigga that know how to express himself, complaining when I goddamn express myself. You understand what I'm saying?
And I want brothers to be that free. I want that brothers to be that clear, that honest about how they feel, even if you know it's not going to be received well. When I was younger, what I was taught by slightly older brothers, because I didn't have a lot of older men that would tell me a lot of this, but slightly older brothers would tell me, you don't want to do anything to disrupt her mood. You don't want to disrupt the evening. You don't want to upset anything. Say whatever makes her feel good. That, I think, was part of the Gen X. Black Gen X is for men, kind of training as far as seducing women.
Right.
And women would joke about it. Girl, he talked himself out of some sex tonight. We were about to go there and he said something stupid. And what I've learned is I've reached the point where I would rather be honest and say what if I think something needs to be said, if it's, something that I deal with in time, it is what it is. But if I think it's something that needs to be said, I don't give a damn. If the night has to end, if her mood has to change, and that's where I want brothers to get to, where your sense of well-being is not dependent on whether or not she's in a good mood or whether or not you're going to get sex in a given night. Yo.
Willing to take the L.
Yes, let me show you how early this starts, because you learn as a baby, essentially, that your well-being as a living being is dependent on her mood. You learn this, right? Whether it comes to breastfeeding, whether it comes to nurturing, being burped, babies learn that how they engage the mother. Now, they only have a couple options, crying and whatnot. Is there's only so many responses a child can give, but the child still learns that the mother's mood, the mother's outlook, in many ways shapes their reality. So let me show you an example of some early emotional labor on the part of a male child.
It's just like you want a girlfriend that's black, because BB is black too, but he's light skinned. Do you want a light skinned girlfriend, or you want a chocolate girlfriend like you?
Oh yeah, I want a chocolate girlfriend. A sexy chocolate girlfriend.
Oh my God, Jace Rumpel. You want you some sexy chocolate?
Oh yeah, I want some sexy chocolate.
Okay, Jace, you want her to be tall or short? You want her to be skinny?
I want her to be like my age.
We know you want her to be your age. I said, do you want her to be tall?
Tall, yeah.
Or you want her to be short?
Yeah, sure. I want to be bigger than her, because every man is bigger than a girl, so I want her to be like short.
So you want a short girlfriend. You want her shorter than you. Okay, you want her to be skinny, or you want her to be thick, or you want her to be fat, or you want her,
No, I want her skinny.
So you want her skinny?
Yeah, skinny girlfriend.
What do you consider mommy? Do you consider mommy? What is mommy? Am I skinny? Mama, you play with me. Sit back. You ain't gotta go over and hug me and tell me that. Jace,
yes, you did.
I know you said I'm pretty, but what do you consider me to be? Am I skinny? Am I fat? What do you consider me?
You are getting fat, but I love you. I'm just saying you are getting a little fat.
Okay, so you don't want a girl my size.
What?
I'm just saying.
I love you. I'm just saying
No,
you
baby.
getting a little big or big or something. You getting like fat. You getting big like that. Yeah.
So you don't.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
you tell me what you saw, bro.
That's emotional labor. He's he's actually trying to placating her, and he's actually doing it he's learning. She's teaching how to do it like women would actually do it. Women actually do this all the time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you
because,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, he knew
Mm-hmm.
that she was out of pocket.
Yes.
She made that about herself.
Mm-hmm.
And even he, as a young child, knew that she made it about herself. Because at first, he was just answering the questions and enjoying it. And as soon as she mentioned herself,
Yes.
he knew that if he didn't make her feel good,
Mm-hmm.
he would have to deal with the emotional blowback of that.
Yes.
And she would be upset. So I think there's some of it is, self-interest, self-protection. But I think he loves his mother. He doesn't want to upset her, right? So you saw he was willing. He got up out of his chair. He gave her a hug and a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
He patted her. He was like, okay.
She trying to soften the blow before he gave her the truth.
Yeah. And gave it to her in a very ginger, soft manner. Obviously, he's a kid, so he's doing it to the extent that he can. But I think it's a profound demonstration of how much he's already learned by this age, right? How much he's already learned by this age in terms of trying to soften the emotional blow. Now, if this is taking place, especially in female-headed households in the Black community at this age, what do you think happens by the time someone's a grown man in a relationship?
Yeah, and especially if he has to do it for the women around him, but also if he's going to get engaged with, mostly with other women, relationship-wise, he's got to learn this. Black men learn this early.
Yeah, Black men learn this early, and I would argue we learn it earlier than other groups of men. But I think this is something, and I think we learn it earlier because I think it's way more of an expectation in relationships from men. Right. This is what I think is partly what's going on, but I'll show you an adult version of this. So this is not the same person, obviously, but think of this, archetypically as the boy grown up. Check this out.
Like, how am I going to say this where she's not going to be offended by what I'm saying? And if she's the issue that I'm going to bring up, I got to say it in a way that is not going to hurt her feelings. So I'm not here patting her back while she's crying about the problem that I'm trying to bring up. Like, so you got to think about all of these things, and then you got to wait for the right time, because depending on what it is, you can't just come out and just drop it when you're ready for it. You gotta pick. You gotta make sure that, like, I didn't catch you on a high right now, like a high, like something great that's happened to you, so I don't want to blow your high. I can't catch you when you're already sad about something, because I'm just gonna just make it worse. You know what I'm saying? If you're moody or anything, I gotta hit it. I gotta hit the pocket just right, that you don't react to it in a negative way, and you potentially take it in the spirit that I'm trying to give it. And once you got that down, it's still 50-50.
Any thoughts about that?
Look at the logical manner that he goes about trying to figure out how to give her perform the emotional labor. It's not I feel. Okay, he's trying to. He's actually trying to logically figure out what mood she's in, what time of day, how he's going to approach it. He's actually going through it in a very thoughtful, logical manner, and that's how men approach emotional labor, especially toward women. He's actually thinking about it. He's not actually just blurting it out, okay,
right,
or just emoting it, okay. He's thinking about it, and it's in a very precise manner. See all the hoops that he's jumping through just to tell her something that he needs to tell her.
Now, what makes this video important is this is a calculus that men perform, and almost never. It's not an accident that these explanations are coming out now. This is not something that we've heard prior. Men don't talk about this publicly.
No.
The thing about it is you have to be stoic, and you mentioned stoicism earlier. You have to be stoic, and it's expected that you perform this calculus internally, and you perform it in a reserved, almost kind of, what's the term when you damn, man, my memory is still shot, man. Man, this summer has got me. But when it's almost nonchalant. You have to be stoic. You have to be nonchalant. You can't demonstrate that you've spent this much time thinking about it.
Right.
And you damn sure can't bring it up. You just have to do it. And when you've made a misstep and she starts to emotionally explode,
yeah,
you know, you just take it on the chin, like, well, fuck that one up. And most men punish themselves, as women do, punish them for not having got it right. Because part of what nobody also wants to admit is you damn near got to be psychic. Not only do you have to read her body language, her facial expressions, her voice, and you know all of that, but you have to just know whatever she has told you. Just real briefly, another example of emotional labor, right? So another example of it. Here we go. So you asked if she wants to play.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you.
That was it. Right? Said she didn't want anything from Chick-fil-A. He anticipated that she would.
Yes.
And to eat off his plate, which a lot of men hate. Yes. So he got her own bag. Kissed him and walked away. That's emotional labor. Right? But men are not supposed to be known for doing it. But there are plenty of men that have been doing it for years. This is generational. Men have done this since whenever. There's no beginning point to this. And it may be subtle, it may seem like nothing, but that's actually incredibly important. And it takes a great deal of skill and observation and patience to be able to do it. He didn't argue with her. You know, he didn't go back and forth with her. And I bet money that the average brother has. He's watching what he's watching, and he didn't have to lose out on what he was watching because he anticipated her needs. You know how many 2-hour arguments come about from stuff like this?
Oh yeah, yep. And if she did say that she didn't want anything, and you did go get something, and you didn't come back with anything for her, then a month later she'd be talking about it, that you didn't think about me, you didn't consider me.
Right. Even though he texted and asked her what she wanted.
What she wanted, yeah.
It's very much, yeah.
You're supposed to know. I've heard that in all my relationships. You're supposed to know what I think.
Yeah.